game, yours to command.
Cool. 3, 2, 1, go.
Going.
Just straight out mid. Cloud9 doesn't mess around on their pistol rounds lately.
No, it's pretty easy to get out mid though. Usually, because CT's. I mean, it's not like a gun round where they have like 3 rifles there, grenade set, Molotovs, and everything. And even a lot of teams don't even pre-smoke it. So getting out there and doing a nice B split isn't the worst of ideas, but still, even one smoke that goes in the middle just to restrict the vision of the TSM guys.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Would have been better than nothing.
God. We just got shut the fuck down.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. Have you seen C9 doing these types of like just heavy mid splits against Envy, for example? Or do you think they're very team dependent? Like they'll see a team, they'll create a strat specifically for them.
That's the thing. I think they do a lot of that on pistol round, especially. I mean, they're usually like really aggressive, but like they pick a spot to hit. It's not like their gun rounds where they sometimes slow it down. They rely a lot on Shroud too. He's usually like fucking armored up with the drop pistol. Every
time I've seen C9 on Eco here, they've always boosted Shroud at mid, and he's usually had a deagle, sometimes with a P250, and he's always tried to take an engagement at mid, and I think I've seen it 3 times, and 2 of the times it didn't work and he died, and 1 of the times he got like 1 dig. So
yeah, it's weird because they've done some. I mean, they're just really aggressive on their pistol runs. Like I remember on Cobble against Fnatic, they went like straight drop, Envy on this map, and as well as against CLG at Pro League, they did like really fast A hits, like really fast.
Well, that's a nice, well-timed spray by Device. But Zipnik's not getting any kills there. And I've seen Zipnik's actually playing the quad box in other rounds. Actually, later in this game, specifically, he played behind quad box and he danced around it really well. This round, he just, like, folded without getting a single kill. So maybe his positioning behind quad box is a lot better than his positioning where he was in sight there.
Right. Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, because it gives you like cover that you can like delay for your team to come up. I don't know, these eco rounds, especially on cash, like it's so interesting to me that teams on the second round they'll just give up the plant like at that A bomb site. They don't even want to mess with it.
It's but sometimes like there will be smokes that the terrorists can throw, which will basically allow the terrorists to get into the bomb site, and unless you have multiple members of CT's force in the bomb site, it's usually just leaving one guy alone there. And if he dies, he gives up the weapon and gives up the bomb plant, like it's so much harder to retake if the terrorists actually have a weapon. But if you just say, alright, you can have the site, and then we'll save our smokes and everything for the retake, then they just smoke off, main garage, smoke off door, and molly at tri-box. It's so much easier to retake in that situation than if you give up a weapon. But it depends on the rest of the setup of the team. So if they're like heavy towards mid or towards B, because obviously it's a lot. What would you say? I think it's easier to retake A than it is to retake B.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely is.
Especially if the terrorists have smokes for CT spawn in heaven. It's just near impossible.
Oh, and they can salvage those up dead bodies. I fast forwarded through that pause. I'm at 2 seconds in freeze time.
Okay,
which
I'm
is like
3
4
seconds
minutes
away.
and 10 seconds.
3, go. So Sean with the smoking double flash here.
Yeah, they've got a plan for this. It's just going to be an A hit, see what they can get.
And this is what I don't see a lot of teams doing, just utilizing like smoke and double flash. I've seen lots of teams, I can't like recall specifically who, they'll just get 5 pistols and then just work picks.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But I don't understand the purpose of having 2 people in the door there. If they're doing a hit on A, like I would focus more people at the doorway so that they could come outdoor and actually burst onto the site without getting spammed out at A main. But just having 2 people in the door, it's like who's taking first contact? I know if I have 3 people in the door people take first contact, and then after that you come out A main and you clear forklift after the forklift guy's distracted by the door players. But if there's only like 2 people coming out door and they're not even attacking into the bomb site and the A main guys are going and jumping over red box, it doesn't really make much sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, is just if there's one guy at forklift. Oh, where'd Freak get that kill? You just come out mid?
Yeah, he just ran out the mid smoke. And the other thing to note is whenever Cloud9 gets mollied on the boost, they just right click a smoke onto the Molotov and run through it, which is pretty cool.
Well, and they're getting out mid and they're just holding. Like, they haven't even progressed past the boost. Freak is still there and they're just waiting for any kind of an information peek. And they just picked one off and vents for it.
Yeah, and Sean over at B also holding for a B push. At this point, like 5 versus 3 is when like Sean shouldn't even be peeking at this point. He should just be waiting for TSM to make the mistake. But here's like the absolute best decision they can do. Just 4-1 in area together. And get the trade kill. They got the trade kill. It's pretty much a 1 round. You can see how it's going. It's pretty much textbook this round.
I like that too, because like they could have just like stayed farther back, but they actually got aggressive on A, because they know like those first 10 seconds of when you have a 5-on-3, like the defense is going to be so split before they coordinate, like let's get 2 at A and flash peek and get some information. So they really manipulated that well.
And a lot of teams such as Envy, for example, or even Fnatic, just hyper aggressive teams. You can even argue with Titan, and there are others I can go for. That will, whenever they're man down, what their instinct is okay, we're man down, I need to push and make a play here. And oftentimes they'll do it individually. So whoever's playing at B will push B to get into Sunroom so that everyone else can stack A. That's the play to make on Cash. And Smiths did it really well against CLG in one of the games, Envy versus CLG, and he was able to catch actually a few members of CLG off guard and win the round for them in like a 2 versus 4 or something of that sort. But C9 here, just like, they get out mid and they hold and they wait for that mistake from TSM. And that happened over at A. We saw Zipnex peeking out A and getting killed.
Such a crazy buy out of fucking TSM too. I mean, I guess it's not that crazy recently, but once again, just like even through the smoke, they're getting aggressive and they get punished for it. But like that's Cloud9 lately, is they just don't care. This will be something to watch out for, because I noticed this against Fnatic at Pro League, is like they'd start these halves off so incredibly aggressive, and then once they got the lead, they would like shy away from what got them there. And that's part of the reason why I think they choked against Fnatic on those 2 maps, is because they weren't as like aggressive as they were like the first 12 rounds of the game.
See, I don't agree with that on Dust 2, but we'll get there when we get there. Because they choked in a much different they choked in a much different fashion, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like they did like a mini comeback here, but they started off in the lead. They started off with an 8-7 half. I think this was.
I haven't seen this match yet. I haven't seen this at all.
I think C9 had an 8-7 lead or something of the sorts, and then TSM took the lead and got to like a very 14 rounds or something, and then Cloud9 started bringing it back, but then TSM closed it off.
I like that by Freak, knowing it's going to be Nico picking up that P90. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think that's largely Sean Gares just in general. You can see it from other players on the team as well as in the past prior to Freakazoid's, I guess, acquirement, where they would focus on just getting one person with a P90 or Mac 10 or Tech 9, and that guy's just the point man, taking the lead. If he dies, then it's no big deal. It's not like it's an AK that can one bullet people. You still need to be in pretty close proximity, but it's a good enough weapon where you can just mow down 5 CTs if they don't have armor in close quarters. So it's a really good buy. But 5 rifles.
What does Scoodle do early with this ult? Does he get boosted up pretty much every round? I saw him up there, I think, on 4th round.
Yeah, he goes for a main pick, and he'll just like sit here and watch for a push. So this round right here is their default. Freakazoid gets behind the box in A main. Oh, sorry, no, they're going into an early A hit. But this is what it looks like on their default, except Shroud's not here. And that's the play.
They just punished TSM.
Yep. And TSM's being aggressive a lot.
Well, I mean, they were aggressive because they had that 3rd player there. They had Kerrigan there. so they could afford to it because it kind of baited Cloud9 into like more aggressive at A, and Kerrigan was there to get that pick.
Yeah. And I think that's also something that's really people overlook a lot, is that if you do an aggressive play, the chances of you dying are higher. So what TSM did in this situation is they pushed with 2 players, but they kept one person baiting in the site. So if Cloud9 gets the 2 kills, they're like, oh, we killed both the A players, let's run to the site. And then there's a third person right there that can just say, hey, surprise, motherfucker, and just capitalize off of that mistake by C9. Well, it's not really a mistake. Like that's what most teams will just do, just out of instinct. We got the kills, let's take it. So shifting one player over to the bomb site that you're pushing is very good in that sense. You push, you get the kills, then that's cool. You push, you don't see anyone, you stack over to the other bomb site.
Cool, and I like what Cloud9 did too, because even after they get those kills, they only committed 1 player to it. If he got killed, they were still, I mean, they didn't commit to that and get sprayed down double. They still had like a 2-on-2 after that, so that was actually pretty smart. Sean can't get picked there though.
No, that's way too aggressive. He even pushed through a smoke to go for a frag there. Like, there's a bad crack in the smoke, but that's way too aggressive considering what the rest of his team is doing, which is just taking mid control.
Yeah, and losing him too, like even like okay, they got demolished this round, but let's say it was just Sean that they lost, like they have no option to go back to B. They have no map control there, so they're forced into half the map. They either have to like fall back and retake that map control as a team, or they just have to ignore it and be like, all right, we don't have it anymore.
I love how TSM positions themselves right here. Just they know exactly where Cloud9 is, and they just box them in. Yeah, he's out of CZ bullets, and it's the only weapon he has.
Oh, yeah, not bad.
Oh, did he? No, he just I think he just picked it up off of Ska. But so what TSM did there was the remaining C9 players were in Z connector, and once TSM knew that, they had one player at like forklift on A. They had one person boxing them in from teammate garage, and they basically had a guy in city spawn at B. And instead of just pushing them and committing to killing the C9 players, they just boxed them in, and C9 basically had to make the next move, but they couldn't do anything. They couldn't go anywhere. They were like, TSM had them boxed in.
TSM's one of the best teams, actually probably the best team in the world at like just destroying their opponent's options by team positioning. Like, they're so good at not chasing kills and just playing situations smart as individuals. Like even Fnatic individually makes some bad plays at times, but their skill is just so high that they can overcome it.
So going out dry there at A didn't really make much sense, but Sean, so the idea behind that was Sean was going to go out mid, cause a distraction, hopefully pull the A people to look over at him. But even if you're doing that, the A person, whoever's at A's, there's going to be an anchor, 100%, and that's Ziknix in this game. And there's no way he's not going to be looking at A main. So for Cloud9 to go out dry out of A main, no matter how good the distraction Sean makes over at mid, Ziknix is still going to guaranteed get 3 kills, just because Cloud9 has no armor, no smokes, no flashes. So I don't know, like, I think they should have invested in even 1 smoke and a couple of flashes to actually help them with that round. Otherwise it looks like they're just throwing it away.
Here's that fast mid play again. They got some early success off it, so they go back to it. But they're so low in utility, like, for this end of the round. So it's got to be fast. So yeah, they're hitting this B site really, really quickly. Look how fast TSM is already here, though. Like, they're in trouble, Cloud9.
Yeah, they've closed in.
How did that rotation? They were playing 2 mid, right? And they had what, one at A or 2 at A probably, and 1 at B.
I'm not sure where their 5th player was. It was Kerrigan in B by himself, 2 at mid that got smoked off, 1 Z and 1 highway. They had 1 in A, and I don't know where their last player was, but Cajun B was at B pretty quick in heaven and able to get a kill there.
That was just insane how fast that rotation occurred.
But the other thing that you have to notice is, let's say I'm a CT on this map. As soon as I see mid smokes like that and the terrorists coming out mid, as a counter terrorist, if I'm not holding middle, instantly I'm rotating 1 over to B. Instantly, like, no hesitation about it. If I'm not doing that, then I'm pop flashing into A main. So like TSM needed to get there.
Yeah, those are the responses. Okay, 2 smokes, 2 flashes on the whole Cloud9 lineup. So they're pretty dedicated. They're actually fully dedicated over towards an A hit at this point.
And this is another thing I like from TSM is that Kerrigan was just opping B the previous round. Now he's opping A from behind quad box and just shifting the opper around so that C9 never knows where the opper is going to be. It's just a really powerful play to make, and he's probably going to have a lot of success here if C9 goes out without smoking off the quad area. Even if they try to get mollies off, the mollies, I mean, Kerrigan's in a pretty good angle for that.
That's a sick play by nothing. I wonder if they have to have known that smoke has a crack in it for him to make that peek.
Sorry, I didn't catch on for that.
You probably didn't see him.
Where was the crack? Was it at the highway smoke?
It was at the door. Like, they smoked off quad in sight, but there was a crack for the door player, and he just crouched the angle and pre-fired it.
That must be...
I mean, they must know that just from practice that has that crack in it. That's going to give nothing an opportunity.
Well, for most of those smokes, I believe that smoke was thrown from T-spawn. So anytime you're doing a set smoke, it's going to land pretty much the same way every time if you line it up properly. So absolutely, it was probably planned.
This is actually, I mean, this is when Cloud9 gets scary, is when they have all their nades. Like, those force by rounds make me really nervous from them, but when they have this many Molotovs and this many smokes, especially on cash, I think they get really good. And they're basically running the same strat again.
It looks like it. So we'll see if this is a... Oh, okay, so nothing is throwing the smoke out of door. So maybe... I'll see it this time.
I think he already threw it.
Yeah, he
threw
the smoke.
It's that same kind of smoke, except the door's open this time. Yeah, that was the exact angle.
Yeah, he's looking for it again. Yeah, nobody probably is looking out for that. So that is definitely planned.
Dude, I like these plays from EC. You don't see them too much out of North American teams, but the European teams, like when 3 players saving like so quickly when they lose that bomb site, they just say,
yeah,
fuck it.
And let's not go for it. Let's just save our money. We have the op. We can drop 2 weapons next round, not a problem. Look how spread like all the C9 players are though, just looking for exit frags. Yeah. Like nothing's together. Like Freakazoid's just clearing mid garage right now, but 2 of his teammates already pushed the T spawn. It's like there's no coordination in anything they're doing. They're not trying to box the TSM players into a specific area and then just collapse on them together.
Yeah, I don't think they were too dedicated since their economy still wasn't strong. So I almost feel like they didn't really want to chase. They just kind of wanted to see if anyone was like hanging out. I don't know. But yeah, it was a very, very weak hunt down for those weapons. Alright, so this is a change. Now they have Ska watching A main, 3 players going door. Same smoke.
Yeah, and the smoke onto forklift as well. Molly onto forklift. Straight out the door, and the A players are flash. But Zipnix, again, this is where he starts. Actually, maybe not this round. He does start to shine behind this position a lot, and he's a very underrated player for the team, just because he might not be like the statistical leader compared to Device, compared to Dupree, compared to Cajun B. But he does do a lot for the team in terms of just his positioning and anchoring of sites. Because he takes basically the bitch roles. Device, you take what you want. Dupree, you take what you want. Cajun, you take what you want. Kerrigan, you're opping a lot of the time, so you're gonna have priority over me. I'll just fill the void. I'll fill whatever cracks need to be filled. And he does a very good job of it. We can see he's top fragging for his team. But just the way he plays discipline and passively is very underrated for sure.
I actually really like that strategy by Cloud9 with the Molotov at the truck, just to eliminate that, so 3 players could stream out. They didn't even have to smoke off the cross. That's a sick shot by Freak in mid.
I have it on auto director, and apparently it's missing all of the good action.
It's auto director. They basically did the same thing that they did. I mean, they got out mid. Freak gets that kill, but they just kind of pause. They hesitate, wait. I mean, they just all immediately turn towards Cajun B. He got one kill, but he gets immediately traded off. But that's a kill once again by Sean that can't be given up in this. I mean, that's the equalizer, and he was all alone in mid. There's no chance for a refrag.
In this situation here, Device being at forklift isn't probably my first go-to spot, but Zipnik's coming over to the spawn truck is basically gonna help him. But in that situation, when you had so much time left on the clock, I would have just repositioned myself to quad or site, or just like given up that area on A entirely.
It's that gamble though, isn't it? Because he got that kill on Deshaun in mid, so he was trying to cover that a little bit for his team, and like Cross wasn't smoked, so he's gonna find that battle somewhere.
I was talking about Device when Device was at forklift.
Yeah, Device peeked on mid and got that kill on Deshaun like 5 seconds earlier than that.
Okay, he could have approached the site.
Yeah, he could.
He was sitting at a forklift for at least 10 seconds before any contact was made.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying it's that gamble though. It's like there was no smoke. They could have had Skadoodle with an op at that angle or an AK or anyone posted up. I mean it's just about the gambles you take in the middle of those rounds. I agree. I hate that forklift spot. I would have gotten the fuck out of there. These are the plays I hate when Cloud9 starts making them, jumping through smokes like that with like a minute and 20 seconds left on the clock.
And that's also like, that's not Cloud9 style at all. Cloud9 notoriously is known for, if there's a smoke, they treat it as a brick wall, they can't go through it at all. Like Envy, they just bulldoze through it. Like, brick wall, ha. But C9, like Sean Gears in general, smoke there, we're waiting it. So this is very uncharacteristic of them to just say, fuck it, let's just flash push through it. And we saw there was a 2-for-1 trade in favor of TSM there, which is pretty good for them, but we will see the rotation coming out of here.
Yeah, but this is smart by Cloud9 because they know with 2 and 2, like mid's the place that's most likely to not have great eyes on it.
And if there is anyone with eyes on it, it's just one person. But Zipnix and Device are playing this perfectly almost.
Oh
Zipnix is spotting A. Oof.
Yeah, that worked perfectly with Skadoodle lurking. I mean, he just got aggressive. He didn't even care if he got killed from behind. He was just, his only job was to take out that truck player. We talked about this when we were prepping. Like, it's so funny on this A bomb site for like retakes how people think that the crucial spot to be in as a terrorist is the quad boxes, but it's actually the forklift. Like, that forklift is so important to hold on retakes.
Yeah, forklifts is pretty good to hold, but the reason why quad box is good is because already you're in the site, you're planting the bomb, so quad box is the closest area that you have like full cover. I mean, you can sit in the bomb site, but that's not really good cover. Quad box, you can dance around it, you can dodge flashes, you can peek the left side or the right side, so you have your options. But if you're playing in the bomb site, you're kind of stuck there. It's getting to forklift after you plant the bomb, which is the difficult part, and a lot of players will say, okay, forklift is the better spot, so I'm going to try to get to forklift or A main, and it's in that moment where they're crossing that bomb site that they get picked off. So if you're planting the bomb, quad is the spot to play. But if you have teammates, they should be A main, they should be forklift, especially if the bomb is planted for them, because now you can establish crossfires. The push through the door here is going to completely clear everything out, but Zipnix is already watching for this, which is pretty good. He's watching for both like A main and door push, and the rest of his team is just going to say, fuck it, we know C9's pushing here, they have to have at least 2 people here, if not 3, let's just rush into B. And
that was a really bad hold, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea because they flush TSM over towards B, but those B players have to get, they were playing too aggressive. Like, they got cut out in the open.
Yeah.
Like, look at where Nothing died on the ramp into the bomb site. Like, they have to get 1 or 2 kills there to let that flank kind of come to fruition.
And the other in city spawn, it's like, okay, your teammates are pushing through A, you need to have one person spotting and one person with a full utility set. So nade smoke flash is good, nade for damage, smoke to isolate a choke point and you know, ensure that you get a free kill if a terrorist is pushing through the smoke, and a flash just to slow them down. C9 didn't have, C9 didn't have any of that. Or at least from what I saw, they didn't. Maybe they did and they just did it poorly.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I was watching that A push. It must have been blown early. Even like a Molotov or something to like just molly off the checkers.
That's too aggressive from Shroud there with the scout. I mean, you have one shot basically, and then you have to fall back if you're getting absolutely rushed over. But that's the gamble.
You know what that's got to be? That's got to be Shroud from when he was on Dust 2 vs Fnatic. Got those 4 kills with the scout. That he just like is feeling like a scout badass lately.
Yeah, he's notorious for getting like a deagle or. Yeah, he usually gets like a deagle.
Because I asked him about that. I was like, why was it you with the scout and not Skadoodle? And he was just like, I had a feeling that round. He was like, I told Sean, I was like, please let me buy a scout. I'm going to do something amazing with it. And he did. So I feel like now he's got that idea that he's going to be this badass with the scout like every round. He's got the confidence.
Yeah. But that's what I always say. Like, you give Shroud to the scout in that situation 100 times. How many times does he go fucking 4K with it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
not a lot.
That was an off round that all of the stars aligned for him to make that play. But to have the scout in that situation at B when you're by yourself and you can get easily overrun and your teammates are not close to you, the scout should be somewhere else, like mid, spawn truck at A, watching for A, and you do an A retake.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Because the scout, like it's almost even more so than like its ability to get a kill is its ability to like tag someone down to like 40, and then a pistol cleans him up. So
yeah.
It's really interesting to see that scout all alone at the B bomb site.
So that begs the question: was it Sean called let's buy and do 1-3-1, and then Shroud said, okay, I'm just gonna get a scout, and he said that to himself and just did it, or is it Sean saying, Shroud, get a scout and go B? Because I don't think that's characteristic of Sean to do. What's going on here? It's like neither team knows that there's A or B.
I think I almost feel like TSM must have heard him trying to push up because they're doing their reverse boost. Sipix is watching it. There's 3 players.
Oh, the Molotov! The molly!
What is going on with Cloud9? They have the worst luck with Molotovs.
Well, that wasn't even luck. That was just like...
Yeah, the worst.
What the...
Like a Molotov situations.
Yeah. Shroud gonna go for that scout or what? Yeah. Oh my god, nothing's just pushing into the site. What a madman.
This is a freaking easily winnable situation now. I mean, maybe not easily, but... Oh my god. It's over now.
See, Shroud's just like opting to use the scout. I would have just used the 5-7 in that situation. 5-7 is so good close quarters. Just spam that off, get the headshot, 1 bullet into the head, gets the kill.
Especially that late in the round with how low the bomb timer is, you're just like, I'm just praying somebody tagged him up. So like 1 bullet from the 5-7 is gonna finish him.
And nothing actually did get the tag on him. But yeah, C9 doing a good job of nothing in Sky, just getting in there and getting those 2 opening kills. I mean, it wasn't coordinated, but sometimes when you're on eco, you just need to man up and make a play. And sometimes doing the unexpected is good. And that was a perfect time for it because you're on eco, you have to take a gamble. You have to take that high-risk play. And it almost paid off for them. Now, if they had guns, I would have said, slow down, you don't need to do that, wait for Shroud on the flank and everything like that. But completely different scenario with C9 on the eco.
That was a lot of mid presence really early for C9. So Ska has that glass cannon, and they did that specifically because they wanted to be able to have three people mid. Or one a day, it was 3 people mid for about 15-20 seconds. So they expected TSM to do some kind of early mid play.
I like the setup that C9 has here, but I don't agree with Freak. Okay, I thought he was gonna push through the smoke. Misplay.
By Freak?
Yeah, he just missed his shot. But also the timing of it. I think the flash really gave away everything he was doing. I guess, like... I would have just waited a few more seconds, waited for TSM to push the smoke or something. Freak did not need to make the next play there.
How are they gonna lose this?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh my god.
No kit though. So.
He
But
couldn't have won that?
not without a kit.
I don't think so.
No, 100%.
Is my diffuse timer getting rusty?
It might be. What you could do if you're getting old, there's actually an option you can turn the in-game music on as soon as the bomb hits 10 seconds left. It starts playing music.
That's fucked up. You kidding me?
100%.
God damn it. I hate
CS:GO.
Reddit. That sounds like a Reddit thing.
I've known this for a few months, but I did discover on Reddit at the start. I mean, Reddit, like, they don't know shit about tactics in the game, but they know everything about the bugs and the music, and it's just so backwards. Scott going a little too aggressive there, and Sean not really in a position to
They're
get the
all
trade kill.
aggressive.
I just don't like. Okay, Scott goes down there. I understand he's going aggressive for that pick, but Sean was so many steps farther behind Ska that there's no way. Like, what was he trying to do there? Get the trade kill or retrieve the op? Those are the two things I can only think of that he was trying to do. But he wasn't in a position to do either, so he should have just said, "Fuck it, let's just. These are our losses. We've already lost Ska. We lost the op. Let's just do something else." But he overextended trying to make something happen that didn't need to be didn't need to be made.
I mean, we didn't even really talk about this, but I think this buy is fucking stupid.
Just the
Like,
op
you've got
and
two
force pistols and
5.7s, an op and two FAMASes, and you have no utility behind it. Like, no kits even, really.
see, it would make sense if they
If the economy
Team-
was low for TSM, if they'd done the damage.
not even that, but like if they did a team aggression. So we saw their
Yeah.
Ska went solo aggressive. Had the two pistols, been walking in front of him or behind him, ready to swing out and get that trade kill and then recycle the op and make it a 4-4. Completely different scenario. So I think the buy wasn't entirely
Well,
backwards, but I think it was just the positioning of all the players on the buy that was.
yeah, but like the thing is, if you do that, you commit so much manpower to it, and a team like TSM is able to exploit that. Like, if they see 3 or 4 people, they know there's going to be 1 or 2 A, and they're just going to like just beat it up. They're just going to body into the site. All right, Freak just basically won him the rounds.
Yeah, that was pretty big. He got 2 kills and almost a third. But I don't know if you caught it, but Ska actually was scoped on a player and quick switched off without shooting right at A main. He could have gotten the opening pick of the round. But yeah, great hold by Freak there. I remember seeing Freak getting the kills when it was live. I was watching Ska there though.
I wonder with Cloud9 that if you have to think about, I don't know if this is something that's actually that important. You might be able to shed light on it as someone who's been an in-game leader, but like they're getting this reputation for like anti-stratting now, and this finals began like immediately after the semifinals matches. Like, they didn't have time to look at anything, Like ESWC and Pro League, like the finals were the next day, so they had that night to go over some stuff. So I almost wonder if that's like a disadvantage for a team like Cloud9.
Spoiler alert, I was actually talking about this with Thorn on Monday, which will be uploaded soon. Whoops, was I
like it.
I don't even know if I was.
It's too late now.
Fuck him, he didn't pay me for that shit. I mean, I didn't expect it, but it's a talk show.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna keep it a secret.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
on the Thorn podcast, Reflections or whatever. Wait, was it Reflections? Yeah, I think it was Reflections.
No, not Reflections.
It was
Counterpoints.
Counterpoints. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is something I think about with Cloud9, because like you think about this 3-tournament stretch where they lose to a team, they lost to Fnatic, and then they beat him at the next tournament. They lost to Navi, they beat him at the next tournament. Like, I don't think you can be considered a great team if you rely on like, if you're losing to every team before you can beat them. It'll just be interesting to see Cloud9 in the future.
Sky getting that no scope there is pretty like high impact. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's pretty big. That he was just getting run over completely there and was still able to get the no scope off. But
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
And I remember watching this live. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is Shroud doing in that situation? And, you know, when you think of Shroud, you think disciplined, passive, slow player will wait for his teammates to make the first move. And then what do you see there? 2 versus 2, smokes down, I'm just going to run through it by myself.
Yeah. That's a bad play.
That's a misplay of misplays.
So this is a huge comeback actually by Cloud9.
14-8, yeah, they bring it back up to 14 before they lose out.
Yeah, and they have the force buy. I feel like all 3 of like Cloud9's most recent buys have been like these half force buys. Actually, this is a really shitty CT side by them. Holy cow, I didn't even notice that. They've only won 1 round.
Look at these guys. Filling the boost and just saying, fuck it. We had our chance. Sean, what do we do now, Sean? Sean!
Tell me what's going on.
We missed the boost, what do we do? Bro, I'm just gonna push through A main, fuck it, dog. I mean, good information though, a minute left on the clock. And they know that TSM has no A main, yeah, no control of that. So both the B players just sit right there, sitting tight, waiting. Scott picking up mid, getting that kill and getting the fuck out of there is the correct decision. But I would have cheated over to B side instead of back over to A. And Sean's actually in a really good position here. Not really expected from anyone. He's able to get a nice pick off here. Almost gets a second, but there's Scott with the rotation through heaven, and that's exactly what needed to happen.
Well, that position's all about that smoke in A main, right? Like, if that smoke is close to clearing and you're in that position, like, you're in so much fucking trouble. But if
you mean
they're forced to do an execute, yeah, or yeah, B main.
Yeah, you said A main, sorry. But yeah.
Yeah, if that smoke's close to clearing and you're in that spot, it's just like a countdown until you die.
Yeah, if there's a terrorist like right around the other corner. Because the terrorist can see you there without you seeing him.
Yeah, if they check it wide.
Yep.
For sure. Here's that aggressive B play, but oh my god.
So again, Ska, aggressive, up, solo, gets taken out, 2 blocks.
I hate that play. Why would you get that aggressive when you're the only defender at the A bomb site with an op? It's not like you have a Colt where you can recover and get like a lucky spray, like whatsoever.
And we saw it earlier in the half with Shroud scouting at B. And again here, we saw it just anytime TSM did an aggressive play at A, we saw that they stacked it in case they took casualties, there would be more people in the bomb site to hold it. Every time we see Cloud9 doing an aggressive play, you know, they're by themselves and they're able to just get run over like a lawnmower.
That's actually worrisome. I wonder, I can't remember if we see that, you know, in other demos versus them in these finals. If that's like a tendency, or is it just because they're down so much that everyone feels like they need to make some kind of a hero play? But actually, I mean, look at Cloud9, the emphasis on B 2 rounds in a row now. They're expecting some kind of a B play and they want to shut it down.
Yeah.
That, or are they just like going for the like cut the map in half, basically, like get the intel?
It might have been they knew that if TSM's on a shit buy. I think it's because Kerrigan goes outside B by himself that they were trying to just isolate Kerrigan, get the kill, and fall back. But both these rounds, TSM was on eco, and it looked like, I don't know, it's really weird. I think they wanted to push and kill Kerrigan.
Maybe they had misread the economy. Sean probably had to have misread it.
I mean, yeah, when TSM wins so many rounds in a row, and then suddenly they're on a double eco.
Yeah. Well, and the weird thing about it is that normally spells an op if a team double ecos like that. But TSM doesn't want to do it.
And again, heavy B play. So they are waiting to get it's Cage and B this round. I think they actually do get Cage and B. Oh no. Okay, 1 for 1.
And they didn't show the third player either. Shroud backed off early, so he's on a quick rotate over day just in case they hit this bomb site really, really quickly.
Yeah. But TSM looks like they're just resetting here, and they're gonna actually come and methodically retake middle. And I mean, C9's already reading this and already starting to shift over towards B, but nothing in a pretty good position here to listen for people to come through B, but also just I mean, he can catch a couple off guard. No one's gonna check this position realistically, unless you're Kerrigan. I mean, that's just got to be experience and game sense. Like I don't think I would have checked it. I wouldn't have checked it. Definitely not. Oof.
Oh god.
And we're wondering how Cloud9 got the comeback? That's right, that's how.
There it is, right there.
An almost TK and a definite TK right there.
That's really unfortunate. He was spamming for Shroud to keep pushing through.
Kerrigan, master of fishing out nothings, master fucking it up by TKs. Scott, again, I mean, getting a second kill there is just, it should never happen. Again, by himself at a advanced position, teammates nowhere near him, and
Shroud gets 2 kills there.
yeah, the double kill.
That he didn't even realize he was gonna get.
No, he bodied Kerrigan through device or something.
There's the op and device.
A little truck boost. Hold for the counter boost.
You know, it's weird because of that 4th round that Cloud9 on this side, they played that like 3 players in mid strategy right off the bat, and they haven't gone back to it. I don't know why Scooter was still thinking it when he was full blind.
Freakazoid really fluffed that up. Just a free kill on Zipnix, and Zipnix full blind, and Freak just whiffed. Like
Yeah.
Like I've known Ryan for years. I've played LANs with him. I've had chats with him. He used to just punk me out in 1v1s all the time. That's just so hard to swallow.
No, I've played against him. He like at times he's just like a turret. He just kills everything on his screen. Look at their health though.
Yeah,
Like, look at that's really like so many of these fights. Like not even that Freakazoid one, but it's crazy.
Sean did so much damage that round. Like his star is off the chains, but unable to finish like a single frag is just huge. That nade in the vents did a lot of damage too. But then he switched targets. He, instead of committing to that fight in vents, he switched the B main target.
That's the worst feeling, isn't it? When you're in that spot and you have to like pick one and commit to it and just pray.
Yeah. I think of it as like, you know how your Inferno back calls? And you're getting pinched in from spawn and back call, like the garden area, both at the same time. And you're just like, you take a shot at one guy and then you flick around expecting the second guy to push in. But it's the first guy that just commits to the frag that ends up shooting you in the back because you turn around. Or not. Alrighty.
Sorry, I was reading the chat. I don't have chat enabled. How do you enable chat on these things?
On
Is there
Twitch?
command for it?
Oh,
No.
I don't know. Mine's just
The
working.
in-game chat. Yeah, mine's not. So I was like, I had console open. I was trying to read what they were saying.
Eh. There's probably a command that deals with that, but I don't know it, so...
Yeah, I was looking
Good
for
luck.
it earlier. Yep, I don't really care anymore. God, Cloud9's gotta be so angry that they fucked this up.
Mm-hmm. Sandbag molly. That whiffs. Shroud taking first contact here, though.
Ah, that's really nice. And he gets away free, basically.
But he leaves nothing exposed in mid, and where's his teammate? Why is Freak not just like... Oh, they're
Someone
boosting...
rotating down highway?
Yeah, they're doing a boost in A
Oh.
site, but it's like... What are they're just leaving nothing there. It's alone, and he just
Yeah.
drops like an insect.
Yeah, you break that stack immediately when Shroud calls he's falling off. You have to give someone. You have to give nothing support. Sean must come up huge here. That's a nice flash. That's a really good flash from his teammate, actually. They have those down so well, actually.
Yeah, Sean played that really well, just not over-committing to the frag. And instead of, like, just pulling out the pistol and committing to that frag, he just pulled out his pistol and started dancing around the box and waited and bought time for his teammates to come in and rotate. And that's something that a lot of players just
don't do.
Yeah, they think about it's about how many frags you have, but in reality, it's about how many deaths you avoid.
Yeah, especially in that situation. Like, that kill is crucial, because he can't plant the bomb whatsoever. At least if he gets the bomb planted, he's got somewhat of a chance.
An early A play here from TSM.
Delayed boost? Is this going to be a lurk? I know they're putting two up, so they want to take it.
They're gonna fake A. They're gonna go over boost, and they're gonna split A, from the looks of it.
Oh, an isolate shroud, because nothing's going to rotate.
Three smokes at highway, and now just now the boost comes over, and Shroud's just completely out of position. Like, that position from Shroud is nothing to brag about at all.
Yeah, that's really bad, actually. No chance to fall back. It's even a 1-for-1 trade, and then you're just as screwed. This wasn't even a close round. That was a really, really nice call from TSM.
Clean take. The molly just burnt Ska. Shroud out of position at mid because they're thinking it's a heavy A play. But even then, like, even if it's a heavy A play, Sean's at B. Like, Shroud can just sit in the vents and watch mid from there. There's already 3 players in A to hold. Like, Shroud's just completely out of position unnecessarily in that situation.
Yeah, I hate that spot by Shroud, actually. I hate anyone in that spot, not even Shroud, on top of that roof like that. Especially in a 5-on-5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with, like, Cloud9, though. Like, do you get the sense, like, when I watched them in these past 3 finals, like, they should have won that cash game, I feel like. And I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, obviously, but, like, against Fnatic, like, being up the amount that they were, like, it's more Cloud9 not closing out, like, making mistakes. Like, they almost haven't learned how to do that yet. It's really weird. But they know how to get the lead.
I don't even think it's, like, attributed to a team mistake. I think it's just individually people make too many big mistakes. And that can be an experience thing. Like, for example, when we see Ska going aggressive on A main with the op, and he did it once and got caught out of position. Once he was at fence by himself at A and got overrun as well. Where's his support? Like, if I'm playing A solo with an op, I'm going to be as close to quad box as possible. And as soon as enemies start pushing me, I'm underhanding a smoke, underhanding a Molotov, underhanding flashes. I'm just waiting for my teammates to come.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of plays, like Freakazoid pushed door, missed a fail, like got a fail spray in a pretty crucial round that put TSM onto 15 rounds. So and there was a push over at B as well. Scott pushed B, got taken out, and Sean tried to go and pick up the op or get the trade kill, and they got taken out. And like, these are all huge rounds that we're talking about. Like, these one plays, this one individual death is the reason why the round is lost, just because of the positioning of all the players behind that play. So C9 individually had too many individually had too many mistakes.
Well, those are just weird mistakes from a team that's like, these championship runs they've had, or these second place runs they've had, are like known for like tactically, like really smart tactical plays, and like all these small tactical mistakes at the same time, you know?
We have a great statement in chat. Magic You Mad says, yeah, if humans didn't make mistakes, they would never lose.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? That's a really good point. Yeah, I mean, it is much different playing in the match than it is with watching the demos afterwards. I don't think either of us would ever argue
but it's
against that. But at the same time,
Okay. You look at TSM versus C9, how they do their pushes, because all of the mistakes that we're talking about from C9 were on their aggressive plays or on their solo plays, and we saw that TSM, anytime they went aggressive, they had teammates to back them up and either support them to ensure the trade kill, or they were stacked in sight. So if C9 got the kill on the TSM aggressive players, C9 would run to the bomb site, and there would be more people to fill the void. Now, C9 didn't do that. Anytime they were aggressive, they were by themselves, and they got killed, and then they lost map control, and TSM was able to capitalize off of that. So when we're sitting here analyzing something like that, it's not just that C9 made a mistake, it's that they made the same kind of mistake, repeatedly. Just like over and over again throughout the entire half. We saw the same mistakes. So sitting here and analyzing the demo and saying, yes, they made mistakes, and these are the kinds of mistakes that they made, it's not just saying like, yeah, if humans didn't make mistakes, they would never lose. It's saying if humans don't learn from their mistakes, yeah, it's a completely different train of thought.
Well, that's what's weird, because you can almost, I mean, I don't want to say, this might not be the best way to put it, but you can almost excuse that when they were down like 14-8 and like they felt like they had to make a play. But like that when they get up to like 14-13 and they make that similar mistake, it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. So you want to hop onto the Fnatic Death 2, or did you want to do, was it Mirage that they get 16-2'd?
I don't want to do the 16-2 one,
Just
because that's at a certain point, that's just you're getting out-aimed, out-confidenced.
This guy is
let's do the Fnatic
full
one,
of shit. Lol. And people wonder why, like, I'm just so frustrated, salty, upset, and losing faith in humanity all the time. And this is why. Twitch chat is the reason. Like, it doesn't matter, like, 10 people could be saying something that's, like, whatever, non-negative, but whatever, but it's that one fucking person that says the dumbest shit ever that just blows everything. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.